the federal government and state government say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a Nosen or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a Nosen or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to today's National Discourse. Of course, today we have a regular analyst who's in the house. You have Mr. Henry Lodem. And today we are looking at sensitive issues that came up yesterday. And of course, those are issues of national importance and issues of national concern. We are talking about Obasanjo's The Way Out, the open letter he wrote to our dear president. That is our topic for today. Obasanjo's letter to Mr. President, open letter to Mr. President. We're talking about Buhari, who has been ruling us for a long time now. We'll go for a short break, and when we get back, we'll look at it critically, look at the whole silent 15 points that he raised in that open letter. Please stay with us. Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a Nosen or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
All right, we are back from that short break. So straight on, Mr. Henry, our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, writing an open letter to our present president. Of course, we're still talking about the presidents of Nigeria, both ex and present. Let us look at those. Olusegun Obasanjo really have the locus to advise Buhari. I wanted to go back a little bit into, give us a little history of Obasanjo's regime, what he was able to achieve as a president. And of course, it leads us to, if he was able to achieve much, how did he achieve those things? And does he really have the hand, does he really have the locus to advise the present president?
All right, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that there's no any other better person to advise the president at this critical time than Obasanjo.
Okay.
Because to start with, the democracy we have today started with him.
Okay.
And he laid a very good foundation for every possible democratic governance to take place in Nigeria.
Okay.
And there are very, very key things that Obasanjo's administration brought to bear that we're even enjoying us at now. And then if you look at most of the things he said there, they were economically inclined. And I don't think there was any regime that did so much for the economy of Nigeria as the Obasanjo's region in recent times.
Okay.
So Obasanjo is in every way qualified to be the one to advise the president at this time, and we're grateful to him for stepping into the plate and doing what he's supposed to do.
As an elder statesman?
Yes, as an elder statesman.
Okay.
And as someone we look up to. Now, when you look at what Obasanjo did in his administration when he came, he focused on each of the different aspects of governance in Nigeria, and he attended to them individually, not collectively.
Okay.
In terms of, let me start with the qualities of a good leader. You see, a president is someone who is supposed to know the country so much, know the issues in the country so much, and knows who fits what position. Do you understand? In his appointments.
Okay.
It took this current president months to decide who to appoint into what offices, and he still got so many things wrong there.
Okay.
But the Obasanjo administration came in within a short time, appointed the right ministers and appointed the right heads of different government agencies, ministries, and parastatals. Now, when you look at his appointments, he did not look at the people that campaigned with him. That's one. Obasanjo wanted to fix issues.
Brother, there were no sentiments in his appointment.
And he just said, I needed somebody to fix the economy of Nigeria. Can you give me a technocrat in the economy? Somebody who is very, very versed. And they brought Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala from the World Bank and gave him her portfolio and said, this is what this woman has done, right? And then he gave her the job instantly. He doesn't know her. She's not his friend. She's not his past friend, like what this man is doing now. And they're not from the same tribe. And they're not from the same tribe or anything. He gave her the job, and she came and did a lot. Then he looked at NAFDAC and said, we're tired of fake drugs in this country. We need somebody that can fix, that issue. So they said, there's one professor that is very, very, very honest. She has a strong will, and she's very good. And she has a passion for this nation. She has a heart for this nation. And then he said, give her the job. And when they made Dora Akunyili the DG of NAFDAC, what she did in NAFDAC was heroine, right? What she did, everybody could see it. Everybody could feel it, that she was almost assassinated twice, right? So he created the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which was not in existence before him. And he asked for the right person for the job, and they gave him Nuhu Ribadu. Obasanjo is not outside, he's not Fulani. Nuhu Ribadu is a Fulani. But he gave him the job. Do you understand?
Was he able to deliver?
And what Nuhu Ribadu did, up to now, nobody is able to do. We felt NAFDAC that time than what NAFDAC is now. NAFDAC is a shadow right now, right? Even though they said, okay, his methods were whatever, but that's the kind of hand Nigeria at that time needed. How many of the cases do we have, convictions do we have? How many of the allegations have been followed? And how many prosecutions do we have? How many people are put in jail because NAFDAC arrested them? How many people? All the investigations NAFDAC is doing, how many of them right now can we say a conclusion has been reached on? None. Was there anybody that is indicted? Was there anybody that is actually tried? Was there anybody that is put in jail? No. Is it that we don't have corruption issues in this country? Is it not so clear to the blind and so audible to the deaf that corruption is everywhere? But are you telling me that nobody is actually guilty of crime? That all that they can do is to put one man in detention for years and not afford the person a trial.
Mr. Henry, please.
No.
You are pushing very hard. We are
No, but I'm trying to look at what he did.
Yeah, we are
right?
looking at what Obasanjo was able to achieve,
like I said,
as an ex-president.
Good, like I said, he got the right person for NAFDAC and created the right framework for them to work. And he got Americans to train them, right? And that is why they could trace a lot of money to different bank accounts and to trace the people where monies are siphoned to. Do you understand? So these people were doing real hard work, and they were serious about it. And we hear the high and mighty, being arrested and all that, but we don't hear that now. Now, thirdly, Obasanjo created a very beautiful...
Sorry, Mr. Henry, please, we'll go for a short break and we'll get back and continue with this discussion. Please stay with us. Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government, say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a nursing or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government, say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a nursing or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Yes, so welcome back from that short break. Oh, sir, you were saying certain things that forms your opinion about the achievement of the past president, the ex-president of Nigeria, talking about Obasanjo.
Yes.
Okay, and then we moved from NAFDAC, and then we got to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. So I wanted to continue from there shortly before moving to what we really have at hand today.
You see, the former agriculture minister, Adishina, who is presently the head of the African Development Bank, is an Obasanjo invention. You understand? And then there are quite a number of people like Charles Soludo, who came and consolidated the banks when he came with his own bank reforms. And then many banks merged, you know, to reach the capital base that is required so that banks could be able to, you know, sponsor and fund big projects and, you know, be there for the factory need of Nigeria. You know, so the appointments he made, you could say he put round pegs in round holes. He got the right people into office, you know, and then when he gave the present governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, Minister of FCT, we all know what happened to the FCT. FCT had now a form, you know, there was a structure that there was a blueprint that was followed because Nigeria doesn't like following those kind of things. But we had a correct president back in the day who fixed every item that he saw, and he knew that that's an issue in the country, and he followed them, you know, without any sentiments of whatsoever, but he fixed the economy. Okay. You understand? Okay. And then he looked at the, you know, the political structure. The only place where we could fault him was when he wanted a third term. You understand? And of course, we all know that Asu Rock is addictive, and whoever becomes
and the power
president
there is intoxicating,
finds it difficult to live, whether they're healthy or they're sick. You know, so Obasanjo's reforms were really, really important. They were what put this nation together. Even the ICPC was created by him, you know, and so many other things that he did, were indicative of the fact that he understands the issues in this country. Even when he calls for emergency, when there are issues, you know that he did it at the right time. And they were like when he declared 1 or 2 state of emergency to curb the insecurity issues at that time, or the terrorism issues that he met. He was able to douse insurgency to some level, you know. Even though, you know, it's not a total shutdown. you know, we know that there was success or there was progress
okay, so
in his own regime.
I would want us to delve into this open letter. I want us to take some points out, and I intend to read it out. Obasanjo acknowledged he knew that President Buhari is weak in the knowledge and understanding of the economy, he added. Now, this statement, he knew that he was weak. I wanted to cast your mind back. That was shortly before the election. The support, the kind of support that President Buhari had from Olusegun Obasanjo. You know, let us remember that it's part of his support that brought him to limelight. It was part of his support that gave him the victory that he has as a president, you know. So let us look at this. He said, I knew and I acknowledge the fact that Buhari is weak and in the knowledge and understanding of the economy.
Okay.
So why would you support such a president that you knew was weak in the economy to come to rule Nigeria?
Two things. First of all, Buhari and Obasanjo came a long way, right? So he knows who Buhari is.
Okay.
And he knows what Buhari can do. And the president, it's not in doubt that the president is a military man in nature.
Obasanjo was a military man too.
Yes.
Okay.
Now the president is a military man in nature.
Sorry, sir. I wanted to cut it there.
I know where you're going to.
Okay.
And I would attend to it. Now, we all know that Obasanjo too is a military man. Now they know each other very well. Now, Obasanjo counted on that to be able to advise the president, and for the president, he hoped the president would listen. That's the first part. The second part is that the nation was really, really going down.
Okay.
So many indices of development were really, really down, and there was need for a change of hand.
Okay.
The PDP had lost it. There was nothing democratic about what they were doing. And so Obasanjo declared himself off PDP.
Okay.
So it's not as if he really, really pledged support for a Buhari, but for a change in government.
But
a change in government.
I want you to probably take us back, sorry.
Yeah.
How many candidates that came out for presidential position? How many candidates?
You know, fortunately for us in Nigeria, we narrow our minds to the two major parties.
But
who we feel
are we running a two-party system in Nigeria?
We are. In effect, we are. Even though on paper we're not.
Okay.
But in effect, we are.
Okay.
You understand? Because everything boils down to a PDP or an APC affair.
Okay. What happens if another party comes in? Remember, it was just the PDP and, of course, the CPC. Then APC came out.
No,
and Nigerians went the APC way.
Our issue is that we work with popularity. We work with who we think has popular backing and who people listen to, you know. And looking at the candidates that came out in 2015, truly, when you look at the whole of the North, there's nobody that you could say, is it Atiku or Kwankwaso, that the North listens to.
Was that about the North?
No, I'm talking about the population of Nigeria now. Then you look at another aspect of it. How many people from, you know, the South or the East or the West that came out that have popular backing in their own domain, right? So when you look at the Buhari Osibanjo set, it was looking like a popular set. Whether we like it or not, it was a force to reckon with. And I would remind you that it was the party that selected these two people to become president and vice president. It was the party. So if the party had selected those people and they look like the popular ticket, then it was sensible to support the popular ticket.
In other ways, they were the only option besides the PDP.
Yes, that has a record of integrity to some extent.
Okay.
So Obasanjo was hoping that this man really meant business when he said he was going to curb corruption. And it looked like, since they were military men and they had been friends for long, and both of them had been heads of states before, Obasanjo felt, you know, they could actually reach an agreement together and sit down and discuss issues. And he thought he could advise this president, even though he knew this president does not have the knowledge, neither does he have the understanding of the economy of Nigeria. So Obasanjo was willing to come around to advise him on that issue. We had winds that at some point Obasanjo was shot out of the villa. So it is clear that, yes, truly he knew that this man did not have the knowledge, neither did he have the understanding of the economy and how it is run. But he supported him, however, because he thought that this man would listen to him in the future. You know, one of the things people say, in quotes, that Buhari tried achieving is to kind of bring to a halt the godfatherism factor that Obasanjo wanted to play. You know, as he said, and clearly, as he stated clearly in his open letter, he said, I knew, all right, that you were weak in handling the economy, but I thought probably with advice and everything, you know, you could have been better. Having surrounded yourself, or he was thinking he was going to surround himself with well-meaning Nigerians, according to him, that would help out. There were experts, you know, in fixing the economy that would have helped out. Now, look at the history of Nigeria. Look at godfatherism factor, you know, play out in Nigeria, not just on the presidential level. Let's go down to the governor level, like the governors. Now, you step aside. I am bringing someone I know to come in and fill up. And then that person is the person I know I can control. Look at what happened in Lagos State during Fashola's regime. Remember what happened with him and our own Tinubu. You know, don't you think Buhari was trying to escape that godfatherism factor? Clearly, Buhari had an agenda.
Okay.
And I think he was just using that escape as a decoy to be able to achieve his means. Remember when he became president, APC visitors, governors visited him. And we were told that they went into the meeting smiling and they came out frowning. Okay. Because and nobody knew what happened inside. Yes. Now, there were speculations that each of them had a list of candidates to present to him for ministerial appointments from their states. And the president blatantly told them that it was not their business, that they had their own state cabinet to go and set up, and they should concern themselves with that. That is democracy, truly. Okay. Those positions were, you know, separated for the president and the presidency alone, which was right and which was actually constitutional. Now, but then, you know, when you do that, it means you actually have some people in mind. Usually, presidents listen to their governors' advices. And somehow they try to, because I can't go around all the states and tell you who is who now. So I depend on people who are in the states, who have really mingled with the people in the state, who knows how strong whoever is in the states. And you see, we have the wrong people in government today. Somehow, you know, somebody speculated that there are about 50% wrong appointments in the federal cabinet. You know, and this is actually a precipitate of the fact that the president single-handedly picked his ministers. All right. So, and truly, if you are to be president, I think you should go around the states and you should actually do a research, find out who and who you think can really deliver. And that research, should that research have taken the kind of time it took? No, I mean, not even when you become president, before you become president. So that you have your list ready. George Weah was sworn in when, and he already has his list. He has already announced appointments already. On the first day in office. That's what a president looks like. Proactivity. You have something planned. You already know the people you want to work with. You're already talking with them because you're passing a vision. You have a goal. You have an objective to achieve in your tenure. You have to have a team of people who listen to you. Somehow, right? And you have to give that little space to, in case there's somebody better that you did not know about. Do you understand?
Sorry, sir. I would want us to go to the second point because of our time, so that I won't dwell so much on the first point. The second one he said President Buhari is weak in understanding and playing in the foreign affairs sector. Now, remember, the first one is he's weak. He knew he was weak to handle the economy. We actually thought he would have surrounded himself with well-meaning Nigerians that would have helped out.
See, the president has been weak in so many areas.
Now he is weak. He is adducing that he's weak in, you know, in playing the foreign affairs politics or handling the foreign affairs affairs.
Yes.
Like foreign policy affairs.
You see, let me speak about that foreign affairs part. You see, there are countries that Nigeria aligns with.
Okay.
And they are for economic benefits, not religious benefits. There are countries that Nigeria aligns for certain benefits that accrue to both countries. You know, what the president is supposed to concern himself with in creating his foreign affairs policy is international trade, defense, and the security of this country. Whether we like it or not, the president has failed in that respect. Okay. There are countries that...
That's the opinion, though.
Yes. Okay. There are countries that, for example, America rejected the diplomat sent to them from Nigeria. Why? That he was about 90 years old or what? Okay. Are you trying to appoint all your old friends into office even though they are not in tandem with current affairs, they are not updated? They are using methods of those days to applying old methods to current situations that have changed. And America knows better. You can't send me somebody who does not even understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. So there are certain things that the man did single-handedly that proved that he was not ready to handle foreign affairs issues. Because as a president, there are certain things you don't play with. And then he was just flying everywhere. What is he doing? The first year of his tenure, he was flying everywhere. Okay. Are you trying to create an opportunity for people to come and invest when at home all the countries that came to invest in Nigeria were leaving the country because of the situation you created in the country? So
what do you think he would have done better? Like, what do you think should have been a good step in the right direction when it has to do with foreign places?
First of all, you have to understand that anything foreign affairs is for the sake of international trade, one. Okay. Because there are countries that buy from us and there are countries we buy from. Okay. Then you have to understand that there is an international peace community. Whether it is the Commonwealth of Nations or is it the United Nations Charter, or whether it is the Organization of African Unity, which is now called the African Union, or whether it is in the place of Nigeria as it stands in OPEC or in the Committee of Nations that actually interact with each other. You have to understand what is the benefit of my unity with these people. Because based on our constitution, we're supposed to support Pan-African unionism. We're supposed to support international peace, world peace.
And unity.
Yes, and unity. And we're supposed to be able to benefit from whatever relationship we have with any other nation. Now, Donald Trump came up with this mantra. He said, America first. That means he has a plan for how America interacts with other nations. Before, they had interactions where there was no profit to America. But now he's trying to look at it and say, no, this relationship I have with this country, is it helping me?
Beneficial.
Is it helping us? If it's not helping us, then we cut it. America first. Let us try and look at the profit that we stand to gain with our relationship with these other nations, right? Now, Nigeria is in a situation where we have a lot of security issues. Right? You cannot cut teeth with people that can help you fight insurgency and expect to win the battle against insurgency. And you cannot tell me that you are not paying attention to the countries that are advising you against your borders and other African countries around that you can bring to the table and say, let us see how we can end this thing. These people are passing through you to come to us. So what are you putting in place? Do you need more hands? Do you need more gadgets? Do you need more equipment? Do you need more? What are we doing, you know, as regards the borders of Nigeria to start with? Do you understand? Then there are countries that, you know, we buy arms from. There are countries that could come in to help us set up one or two industries or factories that can help us. Why are you not talking to those people? Why have you locked Russia out? Russia set the blueprint for Ajakuta Steel Factory. Why didn't you bring them in and say, come and complete what you started? Since you gave us this formula, this complex has never for once roared. It has never milled steel. There was nothing that has been produced there. So since we locked you out, or the previous administrations locked you out, me, I'm saying, come back. Come and set up your factories here. All right, we have a good relationship with China, and it was supposed to benefit us. if we have a better alignment with the Chinese government, and somebody is even, you know, of the suggestion that we even align with the Chinese yen rather than the dollars of America, it will have benefited us more. You understand? But then this man is just not paying attention to any of that. All he's interested in is his alignment to the Middle East. How is it helping Nigeria?
Okay, sir, we want to take the third one. I guess that is where our analysis today will stop. We'll continue tomorrow with another person. He said he asked Buhari to stop condoning corruption among some inner caucus of the presidency. In quote, culture of condemnation and turning blind eye will cover up rather than clean up. And going to justice must be with clean hands.
Yes.
Obasanjo urged the president. Okay,
you
now
see,
let's look at corruption.
You see the reason why Buhari was elected today, assuming that he was elected by Nigerians. The reason why this man was elected by Nigerians was because we felt he was coming to crash corruption.
Yeah.
We thought he was coming to
actually affect the change.
Yes, we felt he was anti-corrupt, and we felt that everything that his government would be defined by is the anti-corruption war that he's bringing to Nigeria, which was actually a problem that Nigeria had. At that point, we had issues of massive corruption everywhere. Corruption has been institutionalized. Everywhere you go, everything is run by corruption. So we felt if there's too much rat in the house, the best thing is to bring a cat in the house. And once you place a big cat in the house, the rats will disappear, right? Okay. But when he was elected, I felt that, first of all, he would set up, a strong panel that would, maybe investigate corruption and bring all those who we think are corrupt for trial, and maybe get some convictions and put them in jail and recover all that they have looted, which was what he promised. But we are seeing the opposite. In his own cabinet, in his own inner caucus, we saw people that, where there were allegations of corruption amongst his own people. But what did he do? He turned blind eye to it, and we're saying, okay, in your petroleum ministry, there were certain allegations that were raised. What did you do? Nothing. Even your IG of police, there was a former police officer, a senior ranking officer who is presently a senator, who has laid accusations that this is what your IG of police is doing, and so much money is involved. But you turned blind eye to it. Rather, you went for a former enemy and put him in detention for since you came on board. You never give him trial, and I don't know what kind of information you have been getting from him, but we have never seen anybody in your own tenure who has been indicted or who has been convicted of any charge or who has been put in jail by any means whatsoever. So are you condoning the ones that are happening in-house that we can see? So much figures have been talked about, that are missing here and there. But I thought the president would say, there are allegations against you, go and face the panels or go and face the National Assembly. And the National Assembly would actually try to investigate one or two people in your cabinet, but you would stop it, which is actually disturbing. It looks like you came to breed more corruption instead of fight it. So okay. It's true that actually he has derailed from the promise he made to Nigerians when he was campaigning that he was coming to fight corruption. It looks like he is actually aiding corruption.
Okay. It looks like we'll go to number 4. He said he acknowledged President Buhari's achievement in the fight against insurgency, although it is not yet whole.
You see,
where do we stand in the fight against insurgency? Where are we? Have we gotten it right? Are we close to getting it right? Are we at the center, or are we at the beginning, or are we at the end?
You see, first of all, he said he will crash in his campaign. Because there are promises he made in his campaign. Buhari and the APC, promised that they will crush insurgency and everything Boko Haram in 3 months.
Okay.
Now, this is getting to 3 years, and we still hear of insurgency.
Okay.
Even though it has gone down truly to minimal, We don't hear of bomb blasts every now and then.
Is this still
we
the
used to
technical
hear.
defeat the federal government has been talking about?
Well,
I don't know what can you name it?
well-
The level we've gotten to in a defeat of insurgency or in a fight of insurgency, what name can you bring up?
seriously, I wouldn't say that we have technically defeated insurgency, because when you say technically, what do you mean? Do you mean that you probably have gone around all the countries supplying these people arms and you've stopped arms from coming to them? Or do you mean that you have dismantled all their bases and all the things that they have planned to do, you have crumbled them, like you followed all the paths that they follow and then you've blocked those paths? Or what do you mean by technically defeating them? The Chibok girls are still in their custody. You cannot recover them. Then you can't even find them, and you can't even end them. So how do you mean technically? Is it that you have found their tracks and then you have followed the countries that are hiding them, and you have decided that they should keep them there or something? I don't know what they mean by technically defeated Boko Haram, but I feel I think the herdsmen invasion or the herdsmen evolution and all their attacks are an arm of Boko Haram.
You think
Maybe
the herdsmen is still an extension
of Boko Haram? I think Boko Haram has changed tactics now.
Okay.
They hide under the umbrella of herdsmen to destroy people, because these people that are going around with AK-47 killing people, they are not herdsmen. They don't have cattle. They are not following cattle. So if they are, then why can't we locate them? Why can't we find them? Why can't we arrest them? Do you understand? Or why can't we seize their cattle? So if I strongly feel Boko Haram has gone more technical, rather. That now they are using...
Rather than the defeat?
Yes, rather than the defeat.
Okay.
I think they are the ones that have technically defeated.
So you're saying Nigeria need to put in more work, or more effort, or more attention towards the side?
Our approach to security in this country is still manual. It's still analog. I think we need to go digital in our approach to security issues. The whole world has gone digital. You don't see people physically going around looking for somebody to arrest. There are so many ways to do that. There are so many digital ways of doing that. Our level of intelligence and application of intelligence in security should increase.
Okay. Because
that is the only way that we can actually decimate any security threat in our current situation.
Okay. I want to move to number 5. I think we'll wrap up with that. He accused the Buhari-led federal government of wittingly or unwittingly allowing the herdsmen/crop farmers crisis to turn sour and messy. He said, it is no credit to the federal government that the herdsmen rampage continues with careless abandon and without finding an effective solution to it.
I'm very happy that he used the word careless abandon. If something happened in January and it repeats itself in July, and it happened again in October, and it happened in December 3 times, and it happened the next January twice, what do you call that? And you are there watching it, and you said you're here to end it, but it kept happening and happening and happening, and each time it happens, you either don't do anything about it, and you don't even console with the family of the bereaved. And we saw so much insensitivity from the side of the 7 governors who went to endorse his coming back for 2019, when they did that a day after 73 people were buried in mass burial in Benue State.
Okay.
And then you're going to tell the president, we endorse you, come back, you are doing well. But you're doing well when? How? And the president never visited those people at that point, and the president had never come out on TV to say he condemns whatever the herdsmen have done and all their attacks so far, and then he pledged to do something about it with not saying that. All right, so it just means that he's condoning it. And then it just means that, like I said on my Facebook the other day, and a lot of people agreed with me, that the president is supporting what the herdsmen are doing. Because for you not to come out publicly to say these people have done the wrong thing, and I think that, you know, we should beef up security and then we should investigate them and we should arrest them and we should put them in jail. No, you didn't do anything like
so
that.
You think,
you didn't promise.
Of course,
I think he's
supporting, opinion?
Yes, I think he's supporting it.
Okay.
I can say it anywhere, and it's the truth, because there are places where we saw the president act, where he's not in support of what people were doing. Like when he ended the whole Biafra agitation in 1 week. He knew what to do. He's a trained military man and he knows security issues very well. He knows the tax. He knows exactly the magnitude of the problem that these herdsmen, are to this country. So, if he meant business, I'm sure the president is capable. I'm sure, and the security operatives we have, I'm sure they are capable. If they are giving the directives to do this thing, I'm sure they would reach a conclusion.
Okay, now,
but
in your own words...
he didn't do that.
Right, now, in your own words, what do you think should have been the best approach to handling the Fulani herdsmen/farmers crisis?
This issue should have ended a long time ago.
So what are the techniques you think he would have employed or deployed?
Okay. There's an issue. First, we have to recognize that there's a security threat in this country. First, we have to agree that these herdsmen are posing a real danger to survival in this country. Now, it's not just an issue of, just life and property of a few farmers or anything. It's the security of this nation, one, the unity of this nation, because this issue has divided us more than it has united us. Do you understand? So this issue is creating, ethnic issues, tribal tensions and religious tensions all over the places, because everybody is feeling the president is Fulani and Muslim, and that is why he has refused to do anything about his fellow kinsmen, the Fulani, who are perpetuating these evil acts. Now, he's not careful with the results, right, of these herdsmen's activities, because these issues are dividing us more than they are even killing people. So that's a social problem for him to start with. Now, I think he should have called all the parties involved right from the beginning. If your cattle was killed, let's go to court, or whatever issue it's there. There's a legal way of, channeling your grief, or those who are aggrieved, they can come and clear their grievances. People who have issues can clear it out. You should have probably form a committee that has equal representation from all sides, that they can sit down, call all the headsmen and all the heads and whoever is involved, the Miete Allah group and the Farmers Association and all those people. They can sit down and say, where is the problem? You people did this to these people. Tell them sorry. You people did this to these people. Tell them sorry. Do you understand? Let's end this issue. Whatever is involved, if there's any settlement that needs to be done, let people be settled. I'm not saying that, I'm exonerating any side from any crime or any blame. But I'm just saying that we should reach a point where there's reconciliation and there's healing, from all sides, so that, this issue should end. For crying out loud, like we can't continue like this, because the issue is developing into another thing. It's beyond killing of people right now. Because when you look at the comments of people on social media, you will know that the pain is becoming a religious pain, and is becoming a tribal pain, or a regional pain, or an ethnic pain. So you have a real issue in your hand. And one of the things that the president said in his letter is that the ex-president said in his letter is that the current president is rather dividing the country more than he's uniting the country. And he's not mindful of the danger that this tends to create. The danger that we have at our hand right now, because truly the social issues that can come out from this are more dangerous than just the killings that we're having. These are just a few number of people dying, but imagine a whole Nigeria in chaos in one day.
All right, now the president's approach, of course you've clearly expressed opinion on these matters. Now the president's current approach of building colonies, do you think it's going to work? Like, it's going to help curb the menace of the Fulani herdsmen?
If you build colonies, right?
Yes, sir.
Without reaching a reconciliation, without healing, these people are still aggrieved.
Okay, so your own healing process is what?
Yes, the colonies, the issues, right? in people's minds are still there, whether colony or no colony. Right? Attacks will continue. Those colonies are not a solution to the crisis at hand. Truly, they are not a solution. I think he's just using the crisis at hand to use national funds to help these Fulani herdsmen. Because if you're talking about people having problems, you should create fish ponds for farmers. You should use government funds to give people, fertilizer free of charge to go and farm. You should use government funds to create schools for these farmers, children, because most of the farmers in the village, their children hardly go to school. And when you look at the schools that their children are trained, they sit on the floor, and the floors are broken. This ceiling is rotten. So if you're really looking at helping the situation, help all Nigeria. Don't choose a particular sect and say you want to create a colony for them and give them a better life.
Okay.
So that's not the solution, really. If you're looking at how to solve the problem of this Fulani herdsmen killing, I think you should call all sides involved and try to see where you come to, a conclusion. And truly, so many things will come to bear, because I think there's more to it than meets the eye.
All right.
There are so many things that we're just looking at from the surface. So when you call all these people to order, you realize other problems that you don't know exist, or rather you know and you're not saying anything about it.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Henry Lodan, for coming on our show this morning. To Nigerians, we've heard his own personal opinions, clearly expressed by him in the studio today as regards ex-President Obasanjo's open letter to our current President, Muhammadu Buhari. We continue with this, part 2 of it tomorrow. We'll have some other people coming to the studio to clearly express their opinion and x-ray the open letter, whether it is what Nigerians should adopt as a means, a mechanism of correcting the errors of the present government, or it still reserves as a personal opinion of the ex-president. Till tomorrow, we'll meet the same time. Thank you very much for watching, and do have a lovely day. Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government, say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from a Nosin or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Meeting inspiring, reputable individuals who've climbed up the ladder of success, but not without trials and tribulations and battles along the way. Listen to their stories, find out the role they play in our society. Be inspired as we get out of them what our viewers truly need to know to reach those heights.
For Lakade Suba, getting the answers that help you make sense of the journey.
Fascination made me want to study.
Who's next?